I mean, there was a tale that somebody took the washing off the line from Bridge Hill and marched up to the company and dumped it on Derek Maid's desk, I think. I think that's a true story, isn't it? Yeah. They actually stuck her washing in a basket and she marched up the road into the general offices, up to the top honcho and dumped it on his desk, and it's a protest.
Yeah.
If you came down from the nightclub, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday or Saturday night, that's when it used to hit you, and you couldn't believe how thick it was, man. And what did they used to call it, the Red City? And you see all the slates was covered with, all the way up there, Concert Bank, all the way. Desperate, absolutely desperate.
I was talking to a woman who came here the other week, and she was saying that she came from London, and she, after the first week, she said, "Well, why are people painting all the houses red?"
Actually, one of the many books that's been about concert, I've just seen it amongst a whole lot of other stuff I was looking. It was called Painted Red, and it's a history of the concert. I've still got the book now. It's called Painted Red. That was the book, and there's lots of them like, but that was.
But was it something that it didn't bother you? Was less of a problem for you?
You were just used to it, weren't you?
Yeah.
You know, you just didn't hang your washing out if it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Dried it in the house.
But on top of that, you had the Felcourt works, didn't you? I mean, that was throwing all sorts of stuff come out of the Felcourt works.
Yeah. Well, I used to live beside Mountain Court Works, so I know, yeah. And they used to put a lot of stuff out at night, which is what you're alluding to as well, you know. But so from an environmental point of view, it's infinitely better. But kind of from the social point of view,
it's better, but there's not the money.
No community. Yeah.
It's not the work.
That's the only way it's better, because we haven't got the fumes and the dust and the smell. That's the only plus side you could say, I would think. But I mean, the community's totally changed to what it used to be. Like I said before, the company had so much going on, competition-wise, whether it be darts in the pubs or dominoes, with company competitions to football, cricket, tennis, the tennis courts in the park here. You know, the activity outside the company the camaraderie was really good. You know.
But you could go to any pub, any club, and you wouldn't feel that you didn't know anybody. There was always somebody you could stand and talk to.
An impossibility, Joe, not to notice anybody in a pub that you didn't know. You know, impossibility. But now, how many people's in a pub now anyway, Fred? What's it like in concert now? I don't know.
Well, if the Duke, I went past there about 9:30, and you get half a dozen in. Sometimes I went past, there's nobody in, he's shutting shop. But they reckon he has a canny click in over the weekend, but on Friday night, somebody says they start there, then they disappear. It's Weatherspoons that's doing most of the damage. It's Weatherspoons that's doing the damage in concert.
It's one of the few that you'll still see on Friday, not full, even like you can see 3 deep sometimes, you know, on holiday weekends and that, but you know, it'll have a lot more compared to most pubs like the half a dozen. I go in the demi. The demi, they don't know what to do, you know, the staff. So one day I've been in and there's been like about, you know, 40, 50, 60 people in, and I've had 1 bar member on. The next week they put 3 on, there's about 3 of us here. They don't know how to cater for it. It's so unpredictable, you know. That's it. The rugby club, man.
Well, I drink down the Grey Horse, and it's one of the pubs in concert that's still doing very well.
Yeah, a real ale pub.
Well, it's a real ale pub, and the people come in from all over to try the, and they've got their own brewery at the back. So
and they do some music and that, don't they, Joe? They have some music nights and stuff like that. So.
It's a well-supported pub, and it's a lovely environment to have a drink in.
I think that's just from my experience. That's exactly the same thing. That the real ale pubs are doing reasonably well, and there's certainly food's a factor as well, isn't it, in music? But whereas the kind of old traditional pubs, but they're, you know, slowly but surely dying. You know. Yeah.
But when people used to work 5 days a week, it was a Sunday lunchtime as well, wasn't it? I mean, Saturday is Sunday lunchtime. You went to clubs on a Sunday lunchtime, you couldn't get in the club. They all had acts on, didn't they?
A lot of people used to say Sunday lunchtime was the best drink of the day. I was still trying to work out how the hell we ever ate out Sunday dinners after about 8 or 9 pints.
Well, me dad, never bothered me dad having a drink all week, but a Sunday afternoon, if he had no money for a drink all week, it wouldn't bother him. Sunday afternoon, he had to go out there. That was his day.
Well, Friday night was classed as the traditional boys' night out, and you go back to the pits, and you go back to the steelworkers, and that's it. They've got the pay in the back pocket. They're going to the club, have a few beers, and wait, to me, it's all stuck with me. Like, but when I started courting Lynn, and they're like, "What's so special about a Friday night?" I says, "Well, my dad did it. I think his dad did it." And I says, "Everybody just did it." I says, "We go out on a Friday night." End of. She couldn't understand why, what the gist of it all was. But I says, "All right."
Yeah, Friday night, you no work on a Saturday. It's you gotta lie in and recover.
Used to be a lads' night in Bottos on a Friday night, and if it was a good group or comedian, you took the girlfriend on a Saturday night. But they never went with you on a Friday night.
It's true.
You did? You always went with the lads on a Friday night and took them on if it was any good, you went back on Saturday night.
I think that good old working class tradition is still struggling on. And I tend to do the same thing as well. I go out with my mates on a Friday night, as I've done since I was about 16, 17 when I had my first pint. Yeah. But no different. Have you got some photographs with you? Is that what you?
Well, there was. I don't know whether I showed you this one, Andrew, but it was sometime in the early '60s. There was a Nartic Sunday Brothers. You know, they used to bring a lot of the heavy loads and that into the company. And for some reason or other, they missed the turning. I think they were coming up from Middlesbrough, and they missed the turning to get to the company. I mean, they would have had a couple of opportunities. I think, you know, I don't know whether number one roundabout would have been there then, but they came down that way, and they turned left at Highgate Corner to get to the company. Well, obviously, somebody must have stopped them before they got up to the farm or whatever. And the police came, and they had a police escort, and they come along Chate Road. I think it was a Calder vessel or something.
Yes,
would be bigger than, would be wider than this.
The late 50s.
I don't know. But did I give you that? Did I show you that photo? I've got that one in my pocket in the folder here. I'll give you that. But anyway, it had a police escort coming along Chate Road, and they had guys with poles shoving the wires in there up so that they could get underneath. So it would be, I think, I mean, we went there in 1863, which was before that, but the last I got the photograph of Joan, she said it was around about 1960, 61.
Probably would have been. The steel plant opened in 63, the new one, so it had to be in before that opened.
I can remember someone like that coming down through Castleside, where they were lifting the electric cables and telephone cables and that.